Nestled along the scenic River Thames in southwest London, Richmond is one of the city's most picturesque and charming neighborhoods, known for its stunning green spaces, historic landmarks, and relaxed village atmosphere. Richmond is the perfect escape from the hustle and bustle of central London. Whether you're looking for breathtaking parkland, riverside dining, boutique shopping, or a slice of British history, Richmond has something for everyone. This guide will walk you through everything you need to know for spending the perfect day in London's most beautiful borough. Let's start with a little history about the area. Richmond has a rich history dating back centuries, and its story is intertwined with British royalty, culture, and the arts. The area was originally known as Sheen, but its name changed in 1501 when King Henry VII built Richmond Palace, naming it after his ancestral home in Richmond, Yorkshire. For centuries, Richmond Palace was a favored royal residence, hosting monarchs like Elizabeth I, who spent much of her later years there and actually passed away at Richmond Palace in 1603. Though little remains of the original palace today, you can still see remnants of its Tudor architecture in Old Palace Lane. During the Georgian and Victorian eras, Richmond became a desirable location for the wealthy elite thanks to its picturesque landscapes, proximity to London, and cleaner air. The Thames Riverside and Richmond Hill inspired numerous artists and writers, including J.M.W. Turner, who painted the famous view from Richmond Hill, a landscape still protected by law to this day. And now let me give you 5 fun facts about Richmond before we dive into the top things to do here. First, Richmond Park, which I'll talk more about in a little bit. It's home to over 600 deer. The red and fallow deer in Richmond Park have roamed freely since the 17th century when King Charles I enclosed the park as a royal hunting ground. Second is that Richmond is a popular filming location. Richmond's picturesque streets and parks have appeared in films and TV shows like Ted Lasso, which most people know it from, Downton Abbey, The Crown, and even Bridgerton. Third is that the historic Richmond Theatre, built in 1899, once hosted a young Charlie Chaplin before he became a Hollywood legend. Fourth, Richmond is home to UK's National Archives, where some of Britain's most important historical documents are stored, including the Domesday Book from 1086. And finally, the view from Richmond Hill, which again I'll talk more about in a little bit, is the only view in London protected by law since 1902, ensuring it remains unchanged forever. So now let's talk about how you get to Richmond from central London. Richmond is easily accessible from central London using public transport. Your best option is to take the District line, which is the dark green line, to Richmond Station. This is the easiest and most direct route. The journey takes about 25 to 30 minutes from central London's stations like Victoria, Westminster, or Embankment stations. Or if your hotel is closer to the London Eye on the opposite side of the river, you can take a Southwestern Railway train from London Waterloo to Richmond. The train takes about 15 to 20 minutes and runs frequently throughout the day. I wouldn't recommend taking the bus, but it would save you a bit of money, so if you prefer that, you can hop on bus 190 from Hammersmith, which is in Zone 2. It just depends if your hotel is even in that area, if that would make sense for you. For a more picturesque journey, you can take a Thames River boat from Westminster Pier to Richmond Pier. The boat ride takes about 2 to 3 hours, but it offers beautiful riverside views along the way, perfect for a relaxing day trip. So you'd see this as part of your experience of the day rather than a simple mode of transportation to get you from central London to Richmond, because it's really long. Now let's talk about the top things to do in Richmond, starting with arguably the most famous spot, Richmond Park. This is London's largest royal park, spanning 2,500 acres of natural beauty. It's famous for its free roaming deer, lush landscapes, and King Henry's Mound, a viewpoint offering a protected sightline to St. Paul's Cathedral in central London. In my opinion, it's hands down the most beautiful park in London and is the only place where you truly feel like you have been transported from the hustle and bustle of the city into a true nature lover's paradise. A few minutes walk from here, you have the gorgeous Richmond Hill viewing point. It's a nice walk that leads you from Richmond Park towards the High Street, and down below you can see the river, greenery, trees, again, just a nice nature escape from the city. So either take a slow stroll along here or even plop down on the hillside and admire the view for a little bit. If you keep walking past the viewpoint on the same road, you'll eventually hit the High Street, or what I like to call the downtown Richmond area. This area is filled with so many shops and restaurants, so take your time walking up and down here, popping into shops, grabbing a bite to eat, or even grabbing a drink. It will keep you occupied for a while. If you're a Ted Lasso fan, or honestly, even if you're not, cut in from the high street to the Prince's Head pub. This is the area with all the Ted Lasso filming locations. So the Prince's Head pub is where they filmed the fans always watching the matches from. Right outside, you'll see the red telephone booth right in front of Richmond Green, which is in the show quite a bit as well. And then right behind that, you have the alleyway where Ted actually lives. If you walk down that alleyway, you'll see a ton of Ted Lasso themed things in the windows. But again, even if you're not a fan of the show, it's still a gorgeous area to just walk around. The first time we went here, it was summer and there was a cricket match being played on the Richmond Greens. So we just grabbed pints from the pub and went and sat in the grass to watch the game, and it was such a nice afternoon. Once you're done with the high street and Ted Lasso spots, it's time to head to the Richmond River Walk, which is one of the most scenic in London. It's filled with pubs, cafes, and historic buildings. Make sure to stop at Richmond Bridge, which dates back to 1777 for stunning river views. I personally recommend grabbing a bite to eat or even just a drink at Peggy Jean at Riverside Green, which is a boat that offers beautiful views of the river. So on a nice sunny day, it's so beautiful to sit out here on the water and soak it all in. Otherwise, if you prefer a more traditional pub experience, you can head to the White Cross, which is a riverfront pub and is famous for flooding during high tide, which is quite unique. If you're looking for something else to tack onto this already jam-packed day, you can either walk 20 minutes or hop on the tube at Richmond for a one-stop to Kew Gardens. Technically, this is still within the Richmond upon Thames borough, but it's not in the downtown or central Richmond area, but it's one of the world's greatest botanical gardens, home to the iconic Palm House, Temperate House, and Treetop Walkway. It's a true paradise for plant lovers that will cost you between £7 and £10 to enter if you're 29 and under, depending on the time of the year that you visit, or £16 to £22 if you're 30 and above. Make sure to visit the Japanese garden and pagoda for a tranquil escape. And if you're looking for something else within the Richmond upon Thames borough, but not directly in the downtown, you can head to Hampton Court Palace. You can hop on the R68 bus from Richmond Station and it'll take you directly to the palace in 50 minutes, which is kind of crazy to think about. After 50 minutes of driving, you're still in the Richmond borough. But the palace is a must visit for history lovers. You can explore Henry VIII's royal residence, wander through the famous maze, and see the stunning Great Hall. Tickets are between £27 and £30 depending on if you go during peak or off-peak time. Now let's take a look at my 3-day London itinerary to make sure that you don't miss out on all the other top sights to see in this amazing city.